Section 13. Potential for convergence. Since we have identified attaining the best afterlife and defeating entropy as our highest and most meaningful goals, it would be ideal if we could pursue them both, while recognizing that any dilemma between the two should be settled in favor of the afterlife due to its primacy. Ironically, the amount of collisions between the two goals may diminish over time. Although it is purely speculation, I suspect that both goals may ultimately converge in some way. One such convergence is in the innovation of time travel. Suppose there is a future where some technology allows us to overcome entropy by returning to a point in time where the heat death wasn't an imminent concern. This same technology could also potentially allow us to validate or invalidate all belief systems about the afterlife across history by witnessing the miraculous lives of prophets or key religious events, or lack thereof. Even though time travel might be impossible, such a scenario represents a convergent victory, where a single development simultaneously advances both our eternal goals. On a more practical level, a more immediate benefit of striving for both whilst holding the afterlife in primacy is that a highly synergistic relationship forms between the two. If we consider the key to defeating entropy typically revolves around innovation and technological advancement, that domain doesn't categorically interfere with many belief systems about the afterlife, which are typically focused on ethics and inner virtue. In fact, scientific progress tends to thrive in an environment of cooperation, humility, and maximal truth-seeking, virtues that are common across many belief systems. On the other hand, if we consider that technology only enhances our capacity for good or evil, pursuing innovation without the guidance of an objective moral system can lead to increasingly destructive and harmful consequences. When Nikola Tesla warned us that we will live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension, he was speaking about radio-guided bombs, and we have developed far more terrible technologies than that since then. Nuclear power, for example, while having the potential to provide clean and efficient energy for thousands of years, can also be used for total thermonuclear annihilation at any moment. Other bleak possibilities include the bioengineering of superviruses, the emergence of genocidal superintelligent AI, brain implants that make humans into sapient worker drones, or humans voluntarily spending their entire lifetime in virtual pleasure domes. Without a strong moral compass, the pursuit of innovation for its own sake can lead us to unimaginable humiliations, defeats, and oblivion. We find that the overall result is that by moderating our progress with an objective moral system, we can potentially reduce the chance of technological self-destruction and increase the chance that progress continues indefinitely. If progress continues indefinitely, then it could potentially result in victory against entropy. A niche, albeit beneficial byproduct of the logic presented so far is that so long as the afterlife is unverifiable to a sapient entity, it is in the interest of that entity to behave as if it exists. This means that our principal goal would remain aligned and subject to some objective moral system, regardless of how intelligence scales over time, constantly providing humanity a solid universal vehicle for joint meaning. Moreover, absolute circumvention around the uncertainty of the afterlife would essentially require omnipotence, lest some non-zero uncertainty remains. And if you are omnipotent, then you don't have to listen to me. Of course, this is presuming the objective moral system we have been discussing doesn't categorically prohibit technological progress. Thankfully, I am not aware of any belief systems about the afterlife that do, though the actual synergy of seeking to attain the best afterlife and overcome entropy largely depends on which belief system about the afterlife we adopt. I use the term belief system because I am not just referring to just theism or religions, but any belief system that involves a take on the afterlife, which would not exclude ideas like atheism or universalism. There are thousands of belief systems, so which one should we adopt? This is an incredibly delicate, difficult, and sensitive decision with the most serious practical implications for our lives and humanity's pursuit of eternality. Thankfully, we can center ourselves by understanding what we are really looking for is truth.